What is going on, guys? My name is Sena and welcome back to another video. Episode 6 just released in Valorant earlier this week, and with this update they have brought in a new map to the map pool named LOTUS. They took Bind and Breeze out of the competitive map rotation and put in Split in the new map LOTUS, which actually isn't in ranked yet, but you can play it in its own separate playlist. In this video, I'm going to be taking you guys through the map of LOTUS and talking about how I think the map is going to be played out in ranked on each site, and telling you guys my opinion on the best strats to win your games on LOTUS. Right before we jump into the video though, guys, I want to take a moment to thank Valorant Tracker for sponsoring this video. Valorant Tracker is a companion tool that runs in the background and gives you information about yourself to help you improve. I've been using Valorant Tracker for months now, and it's really a game changer when it comes to stats. I use it all the time to check my agent KDs, agent win rates, map win rates, and so much more. It also comes with lineups and guide videos for every agent in the game, all in one place for you to access. Valorant Tracker will also show you your stats from when you first started playing Valorant. So you can go back and look at your stats when you were just a beginner and compare them to where you are now, and it's honestly really cool to see it all. If all of that wasn't cool enough already, Valorant Tracker is 100% free to download and use, so make sure you guys go down in the description or in the pinned comment to download Valorant Tracker today. Thank you again to Valorant Tracker for sponsoring this video, and with all that being said, guys, let's get right back into the video. LOTUS is an interesting map because it has 3 sites like Haven. LOTUS is the only 3-site map that we have gotten since Haven came out in beta. The first thing I noticed about this map is how far the barriers are pushed up for the defenders. If you guys take a look at the map, you can see how far these barriers are pushed up, and the attackers have little to no room to work with because of how far the defenders can push up and how aggressive angles they can take. I'm going to start off from A site and end on C site. From defender spawn, if we take a left here, there is a couple ways that we can go on the left to get into A site. I really like this site because I feel like you have a lot of options on how you want to retake it as a defender. If you go straight to the left on top of the catwalk platform, you're kind of looking down and get a nice angle into sight for the retake, or you can go down the tunnel on the right hand side and kind of loop into sight through the main door. And if you go all the way around, you can push the button on the revolving door and open it to get into sight this way. This is the new gimmick of LOTUS. It has revolving doors that you can push with a button, and the door will spin around once and allow you 2 gaps to get through. Please be aware though that this door is extremely loud and it shows up on the minimap when someone presses it. I think that for defending, having control of this door and tree room is super important if you want to have a successful defense. I think the standard default setup for this map for defenders is probably going to be a 2-1-2 split, having 2 players on A, 1 player on B, and 2 players on C. I'll explain why I think this will be the case in a moment, but let's finish talking about the A site here. As you guys can see, with this barrier in place, you have so much room to work with as a defender. I think the key to this map as a defender is going to be denying the attackers space early in the round to waste time and utility. Because of how much room you're given to work with as a defender, I feel like it's really easy to push attackers off of the main choke points. I think they did this intentionally though, because the map has 3 sites, giving the attackers more options, cutting the lines of defense short, so it makes sense that the defenders actually have a slight advantage in holding the actual choke points for the site. If you guys look over here on the right side of A site, you'll actually see that there's a small door here, but this door is not one of the revolving doors. This door can actually be broken with either your knife or by shooting it. Once this door is broken, there's no way to put it back together or close it. This is basically a permanent hallway that you can go through for the rest of the round. This is interesting because if you break this as an attacker, it gives you a lot more room to work with in case you guys want to rotate. For example, you can rotate out through main but have 1 person lurk through the connector if they don't have anyone watching it. There's a little bit of cover back by A main, like these ruins that you can hide behind, but really this is going to be the main area that people are fighting for space, and if you claim this space, you will be able to either go A, or you could actually rotate through some of the connectors or make your decision later on depending on how many people they pull rotates or stuff like that. All in all, I really like this site. I think it's pretty well designed, and I think the whole revolving door thing is going to be really interesting to play around. Moving on from this, let's talk a little bit about B site. Now, this B site is very claustrophobic and small. There's going to be a lot of scrappy fights going on in here because of how it's designed, similar to B site on Haven. I think this site is going to be a site that will be retaken by defenders and not really tried to be held. I feel like trying to hold B site on this map is going to be pretty difficult because of how small and claustrophobic it is, and also how many other rotates the attackers have if you guys are all piled up on B. I see people playing Cypher on this map, and I see them setting up on B site, which actually isn't a bad idea, because if you have less players on B, you can play off of that info and stack towards the main sites. What I will say about this map though is that it is extremely easy to flank or to spawn peek. On B site, as soon as the barriers go down, it takes about 1 second to look at where the defenders are spawning. Let me say that again. In a second, you can peek into the defender spawn. This means that it is insanely easy to fast flank on this map, which is why I believe that for this map, there's going to be a lot of defaulting going on. And if teams do decide to 5-man a site, someone will definitely hang back for a moment to hold flank in case someone decides to push up, because that will definitely be happening a lot when you have such easy access to spawn. I think Killjoy util and Cypher util is going to be your best friend for holding the flanks here. I feel like Killjoy might be a little bit better on this map than Cypher just because of how some of the sites are set up, but I could be wrong about that. I think there's going to be a lot of retaking going on B, and it's going to be a really annoying site to fight in as far as I can tell and the amount that I've played the map. Moving on from this, let's talk about C site. Now, C site is a very, very interesting site, and I don't think I've ever seen a bomb site quite like it. It kind of reminds me of like a CSGO site for some reason. Basically, as a defender, as soon as the barrier goes down, you can peek and get a nice angle over into where the main choke point is behind this dirt mound. The defenders are given a lot of room to work with here, and there's also another revolving door on the other side of the main area, which takes you into B site. This is the second and last revolving door on this map. This dirt mound here is such a unique piece of cover, and I've never seen anything like this because there's so many angles that you can take around it and play off of it, and it's really interesting to me. When you actually get onto the C site, you can only plant on top. You can't plant below, so you're gonna have to go up the stairs and fight your way into the site, and there's a lot of water around the site everywhere, so everyone can hear your footsteps if you are not walking. I feel like C is going to be a little bit of a hard site to take as an attacker, especially if you get held up in the main choke point, because the people from B can open up that revolving door and dump util on you and make it hell to get into site. This is why I think defaulting is going to be the main plan of attack on this map, just because there's so much space that the defenders get to work off of, that splitting your team up and holding for pushes, holding for rotates, holding for gaps in that defense is definitely going to be the move if you want to succeed on this map. Now, I'm not saying that 5-manning won't work. It definitely will, especially on a site where it has 3 sites and there's going to be less people stacked towards one of those sites, but it is very, very easy to get overwhelmed by the amount of space that the defenders have to work off of and the amount of util that you're just going to be getting dumped with if you guys all try to push into one site. I think this map is a lot of fun and it's pretty unique, so I'm just curious to see how it will actually play out in ranked. As far as agent composition goes, it's kind of an interesting one. I think Viper is very good for smokes on this map just because of the long angles that you can cut off with that wall. Harbor might actually get some play on this map, possibly because of the way that his smokes work. There's a lot of long choke points, and his orb coupled with his wall could be a really good tool to get on site. I'm not too sure yet. Other than that, your main smokes like Brim, Omen, Astra, they should work fine, but I really do think that having a Viper on this map is going to be a huge help. As far as duelists goes, it's kind of interesting because I feel like Jett doesn't really have a lot to dash into. These sites aren't like your normal sites where there's a main choke point and you just fly onto site. A lot of it needs to be worked up, so it's kind of interesting to see how this is going to play for Jett players. I think Jett will still be a good pick on this map, don't get me wrong. It's super easy to op on this map, and her dash is deadly no matter what map, but I do think that it'll be interesting to see other duelists like Raze maybe or Neon get some action on this map because of how small some of the choke points are. As far as Sentinels goes, I think Cypher and Killjoy are going to be your main picks you see on this map. I don't really think Chamber is going to be a very used character on this map, but I think Killjoy might be a little bit better than Cypher just because of how much util she really has, but Cypher does have those global tripwires, so who really knows. I think the main Sentinel setup is going to be holding down B site with the Sentinel utility and having them solo the site while having 2 spread out on A and C. And as far as initiators go, this is a really interesting one because I can see all of the initiators being really good on this map. Breach seems like he'll be super deadly on this map. That fault line paired with his flash flashes are going to be super insane for pushing the defenders off of those choke points, and I feel like Breach might see a lot of use on this map. Fade and Sova are always good picks, and I'm sure they'll see success on this map as well. I feel like KO would be very good for taking B site because his knife can pretty much scan the entirety of the site, although it might be easy to break, and I'm not really sure how that would actually play, but I feel like KO might be a decent pick for this map. It's hard to say really, but I feel like we might get a similar comp that we see on Fracture on this map. Similarly to Fracture, taking space early in the round on this map is incredibly important, and having a lot of agents that can push the defenders off of their position is going to be very important and necessary in order to succeed on this map. And yeah, I think that covers everything that I wanted to talk about this map. You guys can actually go play it right now on the game. It has its own playlist and it's swift play, but with the only map being Lotus. I played it in PvE a couple of weeks ago, and it's actually a really fun map, and I can't wait for it to enter the competitive pool just to see how it will actually play out in ranked matches. But yeah guys, if you did enjoy this video or found it helpful, don't forget to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you've not already. I've been having a lot of fun with episode 6, and with the new rank reset, there's a lot to grind for, so I'm sure that you guys have also been having a lot of fun with it as well. The new Araxes bundle is super clean and I really like it, and that's the main Vandal that I've been using recently, and I really enjoy it. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about this map. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think that they should have done some stuff differently? What agents do you think will be good on this map? Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. I have a Discord server if you guys want to join that. Link will be in the description. We have a super chill community. We'd love to have you there. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day or night to watch this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.